The Denver Nuggets are your 2023 NBA champions. Now, there is so much praise to be heaped upon the Nuggets. Obviously, we see Nikola Jokic was phenomenal in these final series, 30, 14, 7, and about a steal and a block and a half. Jamal Murray was fantastic as well, one of the best running mates we could possibly have. Great assist to turnover ratio, 50 assists, 17 turnovers. 21 points, 6 rebounds, 10 assists, 1 steal, 0 blocks for Jamal Murray. Aaron Gordon, Bruce Brown are also amazing as well. Christian Braun was very good early on in the series, provided them. And I think this is the finals to perfectly encapsulate what this NBA playoffs was about. This was about two teams in which it wasn't because of their stars that they won. Nikola Jokic is a star, and he's a big reason why they won. However, if he does not have Aaron Gordon, if he does not have Michael Porter Jr., if he does not have Bruce Brown, they do not make it here. They do not make it. And the exact same thing is true for the Miami Heat. If Gabe Vincent, if Max Strus, Duncan Robinson, if they're not having these performances that they are in the playoffs, Kyle Lowry for the Heat as well. If they're not having these performances, certainly not the Heat, and definitely the Denver Nuggets are not making it to the finals. So while the Nuggets are led by two mega stars in Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, they do not make it here. You see other teams that were in the playoffs. Celtics, two stars, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. See the 76ers, James Harden, Joel Embiid. Still, it comes down to what can your bench players do? What can the other people surrounding you do? Because Nikola Jokic, yeah, he can average 30 points a game, and Jamal Murray can average 25, but you need to be able to score 110, 120 points to win some of these games and play good defense. That's where these other players can step in and help. And luckily, Nikola Jokic is a great playmaker, and he has the ability to make those people around him much, much better. You can look assists for 100 possessions. This is a team in the Nuggets that was just outpacing, and you can see about 120 points scored, 111 allowed. True shooting percentage, second. Turnover rate, the lowest, Denver Nuggets. An absolutely wonderful playoff series. And now let's talk about Nikola Jokic. I feel like for every playoff series, there's always a performance that breaks a record, right? There's always some record breaking thing. And to kind of talk about the entire playoffs as a whole, if you remember, back in round one, Steph Curry set the record for the most points scored in a game seven. I think it was exactly 50. But you have those performances, and that Sacramento and Golden State series is one of my favorites, precisely for the fact that I thought game seven going in, the Kings are going to win. I felt as though the Kings had all of the momentum. And the Warriors started the game off, or they started the series off, I should say, looking like, oh no, they could be had. And the Kings were looking fantastic. Kings go up 2-0 on them. But then the Warriors come back. Game four was very close. De'Aaron Fox looked absolutely fantastic in this series, and it looked like maybe Steph Curry wasn't going to be able to take his team there. I mean, you see what he's doing in these games. You look at game six, a game in which they lost. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, Jordan Poole. And this should have been a sign for later series that, hey, maybe this team is just not consistent. Seven points from Jordan Poole. Played 26 minutes for you. 22 points for Klay Thompson on 8 of 20 shooting, 2 of 9 from three. Just unacceptable. Unacceptable. And once those games or those types of games start piling up, it goes downhill. But, anyways, to heap some praise on Nikola Jokic, an absolute fantastic postseason. He is the first NBA player to lead the playoffs in points, rebounds, and assists. The first player, not LeBron, not Magic Johnson, not Michael Jordan, not Kareem, not anybody. Nikola Jokic, first player to do that. And he deserves it. He played fantastic in every series, and it ended up with him winning. All the credit goes to Jokic for being good, but also credit to the people that they have on their bench. There's been many, many things that are interesting. And one thing I do want to say about the Heat and specifically Jimmy Butler, fantastic that and I'll talk about it more so in a second, but that win over the Bucks in that first round, that was probably the single most important series besides the finals. And the reason is because the Bucks, yes, Giannis was injured, but taking out the Bucks took out probably, besides the Nuggets, the best team. Giannis is maybe the best player. I would say he's better than Jokic, but which now seems like a hot take, but it has not been for the last 2, 3 seasons. I don't think that's a crazy thing to say that they're both 1A, 1B, but I would say Giannis is better than Nikola Jokic. But anyways, that first round series, and then for them to come in from the play-in and then go and beat the Bucks in 5 games, not 7 games, but 5 games. It's something that I've talked about on the show, so I won't go into super depth about it, but that was also something you should give a lot of props to them for. So now let's go back. Let's stop the share and let's see if we can pull this up. Let's see. All right. How do I? Let me make this full screen. All right. This is one of the most incredible stories in NBA history. The Denver Nuggets went from a conference finals run in the 2020 bubble to a second round exit in 2021 to a first round exit in 2022. Most teams who go through something like this would do something drastic, blow up the team, fire the head coach, trade their star player. But Denver believed in destiny. Jamal Murray came back from ACL surgery. Michael Porter Jr. came back from back surgery. Jeff Green came back from a 5-hour open heart surgery. These are career-ending injuries for most players. Belief brought them to their destiny today. Aaron Gordon spent 70% of his career in Orlando being known for nothing more than second best dunker. When he got traded, 95% of fans couldn't care less. But as destiny would have it, he played the biggest game of his career in another Florida zip code. Nobody has played for more NBA teams than Ish Smith. 13 years and 13 teams later, he finally reaches his destiny. Jokic was snubbed from a third straight MVP. Hindsight is 2020, but he became the best player in the world in 20 playoff games. His true destiny? Finals MVP. This team was built through the draft. They filled in the gaps with a mesh of misunderstood talents. They committed to a beautiful brand of basketball. They beat an 8th, 4th, 7th, and 8th seed. No. They beat Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, LeBron James and Anthony Davis, Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. They have no chance of becoming a dynasty, except they joined the Lakers, Warriors, and Spurs as the only teams in the last 25 years with less than 5 losses in a title run. That's a little bit of a stretch, but the Nuggets could have fired their coach. Absolutely. Could have split up Jokic and Murray. They could have quit. Instead, they took a hard look at themselves and believed it was their destiny to win a championship together. It's clutch points on the Instagram. And then there's one more, right? As you can watch some of these highlights right here. Let me find this next one for the Miami Heat. I really liked these when I saw them. Here we go. Jimmy Butler isn't going to make any excuses or feel like he deserves an appreciation post, but we have to talk about this. I do feel like for the majority of the playoffs, it was about Jimmy Butler, right? I mean, he was absolutely phenomenal in the Buck series and played out of his mind in the Eastern Conference Finals. So here's clutch points again. Jimmy Butler isn't going to make any excuses or feel like he deserves an appreciation post, but we have to talk about it. The Denver Nuggets have won the championship, but the Miami Heat have won the hearts of NBA fans everywhere. They had a bottom 5 offense all season. Injuries at the worst possible times, but the craziest part, 9 undrafted players. Do we understand how insane that is? 9 players who all 30 NBA teams pick 60 other players over. If you want a definition for Miami Heat culture, it's overlooked but not overmatched. These Heat went 1-1 in the play-in tournament. They lost to Atlanta, and then they were down 3 with 3 minutes left in their season at the time against the Chicago Bulls. But they still found a way to advance to the playoffs. 13 teams had higher odds than Miami to win the championship entering the playoffs. They faced the title favorites in round 1 and lost one of their best scorers in game 1. Don't forget, Jimmy Butler did get hurt in the playoffs. Also, Tyler Hero basically played no minutes because of injury for the Miami Heat in the playoffs. Did not play a single minute in the NBA Finals. But they still found a way to beat the Bucks in 5. They got through a hard-nosed Knicks team just to face the team with the second highest title odds in the East. They almost swept them, then almost got reverse swept by them. But they still found a way to beat the Celtics in 7 and become the second 8 seed to ever make the finals. The Heat become the only team to win a game in Denver this postseason. And even though that's when the magic stopped, Heat culture never stopped because it's always been there. 6 NBA finals in 12 years, most playoff wins in the NBA since 2003, most double-digit comebacks in the playoffs in the last 25 years. Shout out to the Miami Heat. All right, let's continue on. I won't talk about any off-season stuff because I am not going to die. I could be for later, but yeah, just one final thing about this game. It was looking real suspect. Um, and I kept saying to myself, because in that first quarter, I think it was like Nikola Jokic scored like 2 points or something. Like they were able to keep him in check somewhat. But then just over the course of the game, they had other guys step up. Bruce Brown, if you watch the game back, he got a rebound off a Jamal Murray miss and he put it back up. And that's what sealed the game for them. So once again, having those people be at your side is very helpful.